What is up? It's your boy Aing here, bringing to you guys a brand new freaking video, man. So look, listen, today we're going to be talking about something that is talked amongst truck owners all over the world, all right? Should you buy a 4x4 truck or a two-wheel drive truck? Now, you may be saying that there is only one answer to this, right? And to most of the population, there is. And if you even consider, all right, if you even consider the other option, you probably sit to pee. I've had both. I've had a two-wheel drive Toyota Tacoma. I've had a 4x4 Toyota Tacoma. And now I got this guy, the 4x4 Toyota Tundra. So let's talk about it. Should you get a two-wheel drive or a 4x4 truck? So there's two main things that deter people from getting a 4x4 truck versus a two-wheel drive truck. Starting with number one being the price. Up front, you're going to be paying anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000, depending on the make and model of the vehicle. I know for a Toyota, it's roughly like $3,000, but other manufacturers cost like $5,000. With that being said, you go to the dealership, you find a truck, you think it's nice and purty, all right? And then they hit you with the price. And you're like, well, I don't know. I don't really know if I like the truck that much. And then they hit you with, well, we have the same one, same color, same spec, all right? For $5,000 less, but it's two-wheel drive. Now you're considering, well, you know what? I don't even need four-wheel drive. Not only are you going to be paying more up front, you're also going to be paying more at the pump. Well, not really. You're just going to be going to the pump more often. I already know. We don't buy these trucks for gas mileage. I get that. But it is something to consider because at the end of the day, it's really about do you need or you don't need. And with the 4x4 truck, it's heavier, meaning it's going to waste more gas. As a young 19-year-old, I didn't realize that. I didn't even think about it. But also as a 19-year-old, when I first bought my truck, I didn't care. It really is negligible. Like the difference is like maybe 1 to 2 miles per gallon. You don't really feel it. You don't really see it, but it's there. It does add up. So you're paying more up front, all right? Then you're going to be paying more in gas. And last but not least, you already know, the insurance companies, they got to make more money off of it. Now, I looked into this and I've tried to see, like the real reason why. This is what I found generally. Since you're buying a four-wheel drive truck, they are assuming that you're going to be doing more truck things. Towing, going off-road, having fun. So they're going to charge you more. Is it true? I don't know. At least in my case, it is true because when I had my two-wheel drive truck, when I switched over to the same truck, just four-wheel drive, I think it went up like $50. So it's not much. Google reports that it's like $100 to $200, which I don't think is true because some people don't even pay $200 for their truck. Now let's talk about the second reason most people don't want a 4x4 truck. The second reason most people don't want a truck that is 4x4 is just maintenance. Now, I didn't know about this when I was young. I didn't think about it. I was influenced by, YouTube, social media, so on and so forth. And my dad, when I told him like, hey, Pop, I want to buy a 4x4 truck, he asked me why. What for? It's just more maintenance. It's more stuff to take care of. It's more stuff to deal with. And well, now that I'm older and I'm actually paying for this stuff, it's true. It's more parts, more things to break, more things to maintain, more things to look after. And if you don't use them, you don't need them. Yep. Why? Why would you do it? This truck actually is coming up on 60,000 miles. And that's when Toyota recommends you do the front differential, the rear differential, transfer case, and a few other things. But I have to pay for that now. So, something to consider. Also something to consider if you are a Toyota guy, like I am. I like Toyotas. The CV axles on these trucks are not very compliant. So if you lift your truck like 2 inches, you're good. You're chilling. But if you lift it like 5, 6, 7 inches, you are gonna have some fun with the CV axles in particular, especially on the Toyota Tacomas. Even like a 2.5 lift, you know that the left side is going to need that ECG bushing, the clamshell bushing. That one I did on my Quicksand and on my Voodoo Blue, because on the Quicksand, whenever I was driving, it'd be like whoom, 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 when you're driving, and that's really uncomfortable. You feel it in the floorboard, all right? You messed up. And then I did it on my Voodoo Blue beforehand. I didn't want to have to deal with it, so while they had the truck apart, I just went ahead and did it, and it was a whole ordeal. If you know, you know. Also, maintenance isn't just changing out the fluids. You actually have to use it because Toyota says so. And it's not like just use it once a year. No, Toyota wants you to use it like once a month. You have to do a certain amount of miles per month with this four-wheel drive system to make sure everything stays lubricated, nothing locks up, and nothing is binding when you go to use it. Me personally, whenever it rains, I get the chance to slap that 4x4 on, I just go ahead and do so. Please, please, please make sure you know what you're doing before you turn on the 4x4 system, because if you don't, well then you're gonna mess something up. So we've talked about the pricing, which is, a really big factor. And then we talked about maintenance. So if you've gone over both, pricing and maintenance, we probably already bought it. But let's talk about actually needing it. So this is where it gets interesting. Do you even really need a 4x4 pickup truck? This really depends on where you live. Me personally, all right, I had snow like 3 or 4 times this year. And the only places that I struggled was, one, when I was going too fast. All right, these cheap Chinese tires were not made to go fast in the snow, but really no tire is. Secondly, getting into my driveway. When I was trying to get into my driveway, it's at a little bit of an incline, and I hadn't taken a shovel to the driveway yet. So I probably would have made it if I would have just shoveled the driveway. Nonetheless, those are the only 2 places that I struggled to drive my truck. But just driving the truck, I had no problem. And I even got to work in my Corolla, which is also on cheap bald tires. So realistically, most people do not need it. Most people, including myself, we go to work, we pick up groceries, and then we park it in a paved driveway. You don't need it, bud. So before I come out here and just waste time, I write some of the things that I want to talk about so that I don't waste too much time. But this one was a little bit personal, all right? It says the occasional off-roader. You hit a dirt road once a year and call it overlanding. I wrote that, and I feel a little bit offended, but it's true, all right? It's true because most of us, we drive the truck all year round, and then we go to a trail, it's a gravel road, and we post pictures on Instagram about it. I don't have Instagram anymore, so you can't say I do it, but I did. But if you are into that, going out on the weekend and getting a little dirty, I would still recommend getting a 4x4 just because I didn't, and I felt kind of icky for not having it. Snow. If you have snow, you live where there's snow, where snow comes from the sky, hits the ground, then yeah, I would also get it because you never know. Sometimes it can snow more, sometimes it can snow less. What I found is weight in the back. I had some Canadians in the comments tell me, hey, put some weight in the bed. And I feel bad. I never responded to their comments. Well, I did. I told them, I have weight in the bed, and it didn't help too much. I opened my bed and I had nothing in there. I thought I did, and turns out I didn't. I lost a lot of my gear, so for having no weight, it did pretty good. Putting some weight over the axle, as they say. Put some sand, some sandbags, whatever, and it'll give you a little bit better traction when you're driving in the snow, in the ice. Something to consider. And lastly, if you're really, really going to off-road your truck, then for sure, yeah, get a 4x4 truck, get the front, get the rear locker, get the center locker. You might as well get a plane if you really want to get over that terrain. Alrighty, so final verdict. Should you buy a 4x4 truck? I'm gonna say yes, but realistically, no. Like if I wasn't doing YouTube, I would not buy a 4x4 truck. Why? Because I would probably be in like a 2-seater Toyota Tacoma, 2-wheel drive, one of those nice little 4-cylinders. But since I do YouTube, opportunities present themselves where I can go camping, where I can go off-roading, and I don't want to be limited by the vehicle, even though realistically, I've never been limited. So this may just be stuff that I'm making up, guys. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. I think if you're going to be off-roading, if you're going to be in the snow, if you're going to be in the weather, then yes, get a 4-wheel drive truck. But if you're not, man, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Just get a 2-wheel drive truck and say it is. Slap the sticker. I got this sticker off of Amazon. Or did I? No, I didn't. That sticker. I didn't get it off Amazon. I did on my Tacoma though, and it was a 4x4. So if I had to do it again, I would still get a 4x4 truck. It just sucks when you have to pay for maintenance and when something breaks and when something's not working right. You're like, dang it, I've only used 4x4 like once this year. So I should have not gotten it. But throughout the year when you need it, it's nice to have. It's one of those things where it's like a tool, but you have to use that tool. If you don't, that can cause problems. And if you use the tool, then you can break it. It's a whole ordeal. Let me know down below if you got a 4x4 truck and if you actually use it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.